Welcome to everybody to the call who's brand new here. Thank you for making time for being here. And I'm about to kickstart this evening's showcase of our arbitrage tool that banks are using at the moment. Welcome to everybody to the, that's the echo there. I'm just going to click share, copy link, and paste on the chat. Right, guys. You can also paste that on the group as well, because a lot of people have technical issues coming onto the call because of the internet, etc., as well as they get home on time. So this is there to help them. Right, you've got the link. So welcome to you guys from YouTube. The person took the time out to send you this link to watch it on YouTube. So I want you guys to pay careful attention. Before we go on, I want to find out in the chat, does anybody know what is Web3? Anybody knows what is Web3? Because if I want to show you where the money is going, I need you to understand what is Web3, okay? So if you don't know what is Web3, type in the N. If you know what is Web3, type in the yes, now or Y. So a lot of people on this call who already know this, you've been on my calls, you probably know that. That's fine. But for those of you who don't know, those of you who are brand new here, that's first time on this call, please can you type in Y for yes or N for no? Welcome, Mary P, to the call. So we got Anna that says no. Isaac said yes. So most of the guys are, okay, fine. Let me explain because I can see some no's coming up. So I'm going to explain this to you in 2 minutes. If you need to write it down, that's fine. But I need you to understand that the whole banking world is moving to Web3. You need to know that. I'm going to prove it to you as I speak. So Web 1 was basically when the world was being introduced to the internet, when the internet was first created, where you could only read. Yahoo News, etc., was read only. So just think about it. Web 1, read only. Okay. Then the internet evolved, computers evolved, laptops, etc. We moved to Web 2, where you could read and you could write. Let's recap. Web 1, read only. Web 2, read and write. That means you could respond. That means you could type back. Now, who controls the Web 2 world? Let me tell you. Google, Mark Zuckerberg. Then you've got TikTok, all the social media platforms, they own your digital data. So you may say, but Shane, what do you mean by that? Okay, let me explain. Every time you are on Facebook or TikTok or Instagram and you like something, the shoe, the car, the house, the holiday, the handbag, whatever you like, you are leaving something called digital crumbs. These big corporates have AI algorithms that come behind you, they sweep up the digital crumbs, they package it and they sell it to corporates. Your banking system do the exact same thing. Your banking system know where you spent money 3 years ago. You can't even remember that. They know which is your favorite restaurant because the algorithm tells them how many times you visited there. They know what hobbies you like because how much of time you're spending money or how many times you spend money at the hobby shops. You understand? You don't know this because it's a mundane, job for you. All you're doing is swiping your card or you're typing. But you are leaving digital crumbs where these corporates are buying. Your email right now, Gmail account is worth anything from $5,000 to $180,000. That's how much of information and data is there that is sold. So now we're moving to Web3. What is Web3? Crypto, AI, blockchain, smart contracts, all of that is Web3. That means it's not controlled by anybody. You understand? It's on the blockchain. So when you have your banking system is Web 2, and now we have Web 3 cryptocurrency. Everybody knows that. But, ladies and gentlemen, here's what's happening at the moment, and I want you guys to really understand this. How many of you guys have nieces, nephews, kids who has like a 30-second focus span? As soon as the advert comes, skip, skip, skip. They scroll, scroll, scroll because they see 30 seconds and they scroll, 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 scroll. When they send a message to somebody and it's blue tick and they don't get a response, it's like, oh my God, this guy blue ticked me. Why didn't they get the email? Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is called instant gratification. The speed of the internet is moving so fast that people want responses. Now, when your nieces and nephews and kids who are finishing school, who are going to school, when they graduate and they go into the working world and business world, do you think that they're going to wait 2 to 3 business days for money to move from South Africa to China, to Australia, or any part of the world? Do you think they're going to have the patience for that? No. They would want to move to something that's faster and quicker, and cryptocurrency does 1,500 transactions per second. Now, your banking system is on Web 2. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to prove to you how the banks are moving to Web 3 and how you can position yourself with AI as well as crypto. Who likes the idea of that? There's a reaction bar there. Give me a thumbs up. There's a chat there. Give me a thumbs up so I know who's been paying attention. Give me a thumbs up if you learned something on the call today, because banks are moving from Web 2 to Web 3. That gives you a chance to take part. So, how does it work? Very, very simple. The crypto that they're using is called XRP, and this is how it works. I'm about to share my screen. Please give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen once it is shared. Can you see that? Now, what is this you're looking at? This is called the coin market cap. There are over 53 million cryptos. 53 million. Some of you just thought about Bitcoin, right? Over 955 exchanges. We're not talking about Bitcoin today. We are talking about XRP. Let's look at XRP. XRP is the fourth largest crypto. It's the third largest blockchain in the world. This is the $2.3 trillion market. Now, as you can see, in the last 24 hours, can you see the spike that's going up? There's some movements in the market because some news has come out. In the last 24 hours, the market is up 11.78%, 1.24 billion went into it. And the market cap is 68.8 billion. They only can be 100 billion XRP. After that, it's done. Right now, the circulating supply is only 62 billion. So we've got about 40 billion remaining. So what is XRP? So how many of you guys heard of Ripple? So Ripple is the company and XRP is the token. So what is so good about this token? It's, well, the fourth largest crypto in the world, but more importantly, who's adopting it? And now, for those of you who are brand new here, I need you to pay attention to this. Right now in South Africa, we've got Absa Bank that partnered with Ripple, 15th of October, 2025. Remember, corporate and investment banking. Now, this is a question you need to ask yourself. Why is it average people being educated by the local banks to get some Ripple or XRP? Why? They don't want you to know this. This is a list of banks, countries that are already partnered with XRP as of 2025. That is why in my opening remarks, remember I told you, whatever you've done in crypto for 2024 and beyond, leave it there, because there's a new kid in town. They're moving towards Web3. So this is a list of institutions that are using and adopting XRP. We got Japan, we got UAE, we got the National Bank of Nigeria, then we've got USA, PNC Financial Services, American Express partnered with Ripple. How many of you guys know that? How many of you guys know people with American Express cards? Standard Chartered, Santander, Australia. This is the Commonwealth Bank of Australia. If you're Australia on the call, we got some work to do in Australia, even in New Zealand, Saudi Arabia, Vietnam, Russia. Standard Bank, South Africa uses Ripple technology for payments. How does that make you feel? I don't know. For me personally, I knew about XRP a long time ago, but I never see any movement in the market. And it's because of the mere fact that the banks don't want you to know that. Now that you know that, how does that make you feel? So what if I had to tell you, okay, what the price of XRP is going to be and how you can accumulate it? Okay, so some of you probably missed Bitcoin. How many of you bought Bitcoin at $2? I got involved in Bitcoin 14 and a half years ago. I was the first person in Africa to buy a car on the blockchain with Bitcoin. But let's take it a step further. Okay, let's take it one step further. What else is Ripple doing? There's something called RWA, real world assets, where they tokenize real assets like real estate, gold, diamonds. So Dubai has officially moved 1,280,000,000 worth of polished diamonds into XRP ledger. Now, this information that I'm giving you here, your financial advisor is not going to give you, your bank manager is not going to give you. So how do we prepare ourselves, guys? How do we prepare and say, Shane, talk to me, 2026, how can we position ourselves before the banks come in? And ladies and gentlemen, that's the reason why you are on the call. So I want you to thank the person who invited you here, because if it wasn't for them, you would have been getting this information. So right now, I'm going to share a quick PowerPoint to show you exactly how we do it. So Xrp basically means Xrp AI Bot. Okay, that's the abbreviation. Now, Bitcoin is an asset token. You buy the whole long term. Ethereum is a technology token. You create dApps, decentralized finance, etc. on it. And XRP is a banking token, which I just showed you, all the banks that are being involved. So XRP was launched in June 2012. It's used by banks. It's there to replace the SWIFT banking system. Now, anybody knows what the SWIFT banking system is? If you know what it is, type in Y. If you don't know, type in N. I want to explain that very quickly in 2 minutes so you understand why we are so busy with this. Okay, let me explain what is the SWIFT banking system. So in 1973, the SWIFT banking system was created by the US. So basically, it's like a giant messaging system that connects all the banks around the world with over 200 countries. Okay, so if you want to send money to China, you've got to send it via SWIFT. You'll notice they ask you for the SWIFT code. So that's how, for the last 50 some odd years, we've been sending money cross border using the SWIFT payment system. However, recently, the SWIFT payment system has been weaponized. That means if you don't agree with what the US is saying, they can put sanctions on you. And when they put sanctions on you, they disable your SWIFT payment system. That means your country cannot communicate with the rest of the world. Now, this took precedence in Russia's war with Ukraine. Russia had over 300 billion worth of bonds and treasuries within the US banking system. So during the war, sanctions was put on Russia, and now Russia cannot communicate financially with the other 199 countries. Now what's happening is the other countries are starting to think about this as, whoa, if we don't agree to the US, that means sanctions can be put on us. So they need a plan B in order to communicate around the world. So they got SWIFT system, and now XRP is going to be the plan B. Everybody understand that? Give me a thumbs up, or there's a chat there. Everybody understands what is SWIFT? So the banks around the world and countries are looking for a new payment system. Now, you on this call have front row seats of something that hasn't happened in 50 years. The question is, what do you do with this information? The question is, who do you share this information with? Do you share it with friends and family who are in a rut right now looking for a plan B? And tell them, hey, banks are about to move the payment system. You need to come to this call. Do you share it with your whole lot of friends? Because time to educate them, because the banks are not going to do that for you. You understand? So that is why it was important for you to be on this call and listen, because this is happening right under our noses. So this is Brad Garlinghouse. He's the CEO for XRP. He also sits on the advisory board for the Clarity Bill, which is about to be launched. Now, the SWIFT is old, slow, expensive, and confusing. We all know that. XRP is on the blockchain, which is super fast, 1,500 transactions per second. It's virtually free and transparent. Now, here's what we're asking you. If XRP takes over 25% of the SWIFT network, that means XRP will be valued at $10,000. How much is it today? Let's see who was paying attention. Put in the chat. How much is one XRP today? Put in the chat. I showed you guys when I got started. How much was one XRP? To everybody who's paying attention, well done to you. $1, $1.09, $1.10. If XRP takes over 25% of this 11,500 banking systems or financial houses, one XRP will be valued at $10,000. Now it's at only $1. It's not $1.90, Filani. It's $1.09 or $1.10 in between that. Now that you know it's only $1, which is around 17 rand, and you know it's going to be valued at $10,000, how many XRP do you want? Because this is retirement money. This is paying off the bond. This is your dream home. This is your holiday home in every continent of the world. This is your supercar money. This is your, legacy money to leave for your kids. This is a serious question you need to ask yourself, because when I was involved in Bitcoin, it's only $500. And when I told people it'll go to 1 million rand, Dilip, those days, people didn't believe me. Today is way over a million rand. But I stuck to my guns. Why? Because when I was in London, I was mentored by Richard Branson, Robert T. Kiyosaki. I follow smart money. When the smart money is going, I follow smart money, because once the smart money has gone across, then the dumb money comes. Which are the dumb money? The last minute.coms. Who wants to buy when now Bitcoin is 69,000? Ooh, I need to buy. But Shady's been telling them it is $500. Now I'm telling you all it's only $1.09. Now I'm showing you proof that the banks are buying. So some of you will come back to me and say, yeah, Shay, you're saying that the banks, but what about our government? Oh, you want to know what our government saying for those of you in South Africa? Because see, right now your mind is working with every reason not to agree with me. Okay? Let's look at South Africa. You guys can do this. What I'm doing is not rocket science. Finance Minister, Gongolwan announced in 2026 that cryptocurrency, let's make this green, that cryptocurrency is being integrated into South Africa's capital flow. How many of you guys do that? How many of you guys do that? FSCA governs crypto and regulated financial product. But isn't some of you were told that Bitcoin is a scam? Isn't some of you were told to stay away from cryptocurrency? Isn't some of you listen to your broke uncle down the road who knew nothing, who didn't read a single book in his life about this blockchain and Bitcoin, but some of you took advice from them? I lost a lot of money, to be honest with you. Why? Because every company that was involved in crypto prior to 2024 was shut down by a government, was shut down by SEC. They didn't want us to, they said it's illegal, it's crypto. That is why they're shutting it down. They call us scammers, they call us whatever. Meanwhile, every government, the SEC, that's the Securities Exchange Commission, they shut down cryptocurrency. And they made people who believed in it look like we were like devils, or we were like following a cult. Meanwhile, they had a plan for South Africa's government to say that in 2026 they're adding to the capital flow. How many years do you think they've been researching it? Do you think overnight they came up and said, oh, we want to now take a risk with crypto? Absa Bank, without the risk analysis, with the actuarial scientists saying 15th of October is the D-date that we want to partner. No, ladies and gentlemen, don't be gullible, don't be naive. These guys have been doing this for the last maybe 10 years or so. They've been researching, putting ideas in your head, shutting down companies and telling them, stay away from crypto, so they could buy a whole lot. And some of you on this call fell for it. Me, for instance, I lost a lot of money, but I kept on believing because I knew what was a blockchain. This is our time right now. Some of you say, but Shane, what does the SEC say about XRP? Okay, you want to know? What is the SEC? The SEC is the Securities and Exchange Commission based in the US that gives gold its value, that gives silver its value, that gives oil its value. So is Ripple a commodity? Yes, in the United States, XRP, the digital asset Ripple Lab, is classified as a digital commodity. Hello, digital commodity. This is, I'm talking about the United States. Look at this here. I want this to really sink in. The new SEC classified XRP as a digital commodity alongside Bitcoin. But did the SEC shut down companies dealing with Bitcoin? This one's break my gut. is because these people have robbed all of you from becoming multi-millionaires and multi-billionaires. Imagine if they were pro and they said, right, go ahead and buy. You bought it at, I don't know, for 10 Bitcoin. Today at $69,000 each, everybody on this call would have been retired. But today, ladies and gentlemen, today there is no excuse. You have no excuse. I had an excuse because everybody was against it. Today, you are on this call. You got no excuse. So what can we do with this? Let's move on now that your mind is all in the right place. You know what governments are doing with it. So how do we get that? So we say, leave alone 10,000 or 7,000. What if XRP goes to just $10 and we help you? The person who invited you to this call, give them some hearts, not for me, give them some hearts, the person who invited you to the call. What if they help you get you to 100,000 XRP? That will make you $1 billionaire. $1 billionaire. Now, I just want to stop there because some of you are going through a thought process right now says, Shane, but nobody in my family ever made $1 billion. You don't understand my situation right now. I don't. You don't understand what I'm going through. I don't. So how can you dangle this carrot of $1 billion in front of me? I'm not dangling a carrot because we have worked the maths out for you to get to $1 billion. The problem with you is that you basing that $1 billion on what you are doing currently in your present reality. I don't care what you're doing right now. I don't care about the color of your skin. I don't care what's your educational background. I don't care about how old you are. I don't give a rat's ass about anything that you are doing right now, where you are, because that's now. I just told you the banks are moving. If we show you how to move with the flow of where the money is going, that's where money is made. You understand? You are a different frequency of wealth. You are basically quantum leaping into wealth right now. You need to understand, right? You are quantum leaping into abundance. So forget about where you are currently. Forget about it. Tomorrow morning, you wake up, you look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm going to be $1 billionaire. Now, when you say, a lot of people say, I want to be a billionaire, be specific. Zimbabwean dollar billionaire, Rand billionaire, dollar billionaire. What billionaire you want to be? $1 billionaire. So how do we get there? We're going to show you how to get to 100,000 XRP. If that XRP just goes to $10, that's it. Our work is done. So how do we get there? We earn XRP using a bot, an AI bot with quantum computing with IBM. How does it work? We do arbitrage trading. At the end of this call, I will show you how that works. Okay? We do arbitrage trading, and the guy who designed this bot is Dr. Jack Van Miller. There's he right here. He designed this. His background is a PhD in aeronautical engineering. He designs programs, drones for the military. Absolutely brilliant, brilliant, brilliant guy. And I just want to show you something quickly. That's him here with me. This is Rehan Gohar. He is the co-founder. He put the whole compensation plan together. He's head of IT. He is our CFO, Rizwan. These guys here, they own skyscrapers in Dubai, New York, London. That's who they are. And there's Dr. Jack here. This is Shweta. She is our Chief Operations Manager. And these two ladies, Alice and can't remember the other name, they are from the US. And that's me with them in Thailand. The reason I'm showing you that is because I don't want you to look at this and just think it's a person here that we haven't met. We know these people. So we do arbitrage trading, okay? Now, in the chat, once again, I need to know who I'm speaking to. Do you know what is arbitrage? Y for yes, N for no. Y for yes, N for no. Because when people hear trading, the mind goes on one thing. Oh, I have to put in a buy. I have to wait for the market to go up. Then I have to sell and then take profit. And if I don't, it hits my stop loss, then lose money. So let me explain to you what is arbitrage trading. Very, very simple. You remember when I opened up this call, and that's why I always say, come in 10 minutes early. When I opened up the call, how many exchanges are there in the world right now? Crypto exchanges. Let's see who was paying attention. How many crypto exchanges? Put it in the chat. It's pointless you guys being on the chat and got the TV on. I want you guys to understand that it's a learning curve for you guys. So you know, because this is the future of money we're talking about. How many different crypto exchanges do we have? DJ Jones says 3. No, DJ Jones, you wasn't paying attention, but it's fine. It's your first Zoom. I'll give you a break. Anybody else? Sylvia says 2. How many exchanges are there in the world right now? Please don't use Google. Let's be fair. Okay, let me show you guys so you don't forget again. Okay, so this is going to take some time because it keeps changing here. You can see the fear and greed index is 33. That means there's less fear in the market, which is a good time to buy. Okay, this is just showing you all the different cryptos. We got 53 billion cryptos. Boom, 955 exchanges. Okay, 955 exchange. Bloody 2 trillion is the market cap. So we got 955 exchanges that sells XRP. Everybody agree? Everybody understands that? Different parts of the world, like in South Africa, we've got Luno, we've got Vela, we've got Allcoin Trader, then you got Coinbase, then you've got Binance and Bitstamp. You guys understand that there's over 955. Now, thank you, Samsung. It'd be nice if you could change your name so I could address you. So let's go with that. We at ZAB, we only use 4 exchanges. Pay attention. We use Binance, we use Coinbase, we use Kraken, and we use Bitstamp. Only 4. So at any given time, they sell XRP. But at any given time, the price of XRP is slightly different. So what our bot does, our bot scans the market, look at where it's cheaper, it buys from one exchange, it sells to the other exchange. If all the prices are the same, there is no trade, nobody loses money. It will only do a trade if there's a price difference. Everybody understands that. That is called arbitrage trading. Now, the secret to arbitrage trading is you've got to have a lot of liquidity. That means you've got to have a lot of money because the price difference is like 0.0002. So the more liquidity you have, the bigger profits you make. That is why arbitrage trading is only done by the banks as well as huge corporates because they have that amount of money. Average people like you and I, we need a lot of money to make a 0.002 profit. Okay, understand, guys? So we do arbitrage trading. That's what we do. So let's go back to the PowerPoint. So scans multiple exchanges, detect the price variation, rapid automated, speed and position, buy low and sell high. Now, how much does it give you? It gives you up to 1% a day, 6 days a week. Okay, so it trades for you from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. What happens on Tuesday? Everybody type in the chat there. What happens on Tuesday? Tuesdays, we reactivate our bot. So you get paid 6 days a week, except on a Tuesday. Okay, so how does it work? On a Tuesday, like today, you click on the bot, you click submit, you click yes, there'll be a tick, it changes color, the arms wave to say your bot is trading. You activate this every Tuesday. So how much does this bot cost? That's the main question. Let's go back. This is the price of the bot. The bot costs you 1 XRP. Can you see 1 XRP, which is 17 Rand for your fee? You need to have your own XRP, which is 10. Minimum 10. So we're looking at 11 XRP minimum. That's plus minus 300 Rand, depends on the exchange that you're using. But you can come in with any amount of XRP because you want to get to 100,000 XRP. So you can afford 1,000 Rand, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, go ahead and buy it. Why? Because you got your monies in the bank, your bank finished, take your money, finish putting XRP, they are making the millions and they're giving you what, 5% for the year, right? Here is a smart contract. So what does that mean? That means a smart contract on the blockchain that the owners themselves, the CFO, they cannot pull out any monies here because a smart contract is immutable. You cannot delete anything and you cannot adjust it. If any of those 3 things you could do, then Bitcoin is on the blockchain. The Americans would have shut it down a long time ago. Why I say that with all due respect? What happens to any country that goes against the US dollar? Type it in the chat. You know what happens to them? USA finds a way to make them democratic. Bomb. I can't use those words on YouTube. I've almost forgot. Sorry, YouTube. You guys would know what I'm saying. So how many of you in the call right now can afford 11 XRP? Type in Y for yes. And if you can't, with all due respect, I'll understand because I don't know who you are. I'm not sure which part of your life, what you're going through what you're going through life at this part of you. As you can see that I'm probably right. I'm still in a holiday mood. I don't know what you're going through at this time in your life. So if you don't have it, I'll understand. But here's what you also need to take into consideration, that if you don't have it now, what makes you say you're going to have it in 3 months? What in case you have a medical emergency tomorrow? What happens if something bad happens and you need 350 rand? That means you're on this call for one reason only, for me to give you a reality check. If you don't have 350 rand right now, that means what you've been doing for the last 5 years is not working for you. And nothing changes if nothing changes. Insanity is when you do the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Today is your time. Listen to me, look into my eyes. Today is your time. So you're going to get back to the person who invited you to the call, tell him, hey, you know what? I know XRP is only $1.10. I know what is arbitrage. I know how the bot is going to work. I want your link ready to get started. So the person who invited you here will actually send you the link and you tell them you want to get started with whatever amount and they will get you the XRP. Okay? Or they'll reach out to me. I will help you get the XRP. Understand that? Everybody understand that? So how does this bot work? So let's just say you come into 10 XRP. It's programmed to give you a 300% return. That means you'll make 30 XRP. Understand? If you come in with 100 XRP, that means you're going to go out with 300 XRP. If you come in with 20 XRP, now you can come in with 22, 24, 25, 27. There's no set packages. Whatever you can afford, you can come in with, as long as it's above 11, you'll make 300%. Good? So if you look at around 20% a month, around 5 or 6 months, you will get your 350 rand back or whatever you put in back, because 20% a month times 5 months is 100%. So those of you ask, oh, but Shane, how long it takes me to get my money back? You know, let me tell you something that's very, very funny here, right? When I told somebody that you'll average around 20% a month, that's about 40 to 50 rand a month, you know what they told me? Oh my God, so little bit. How I'm going to change my life with so little? But did they realize that if they got the 350 rand in the bank, it's only giving them 144 for a month? But they're happy doing that. Because you see, everything is about mindset. People's mindset needs to, they're brainwashed on the banking system. So when you show them something that's better, naturally the mind goes, no, this can't be better than my bank. Yet they get 144. So the system works like this. Let's just say you want to take this out to your community and you tell your mom or your brother, as soon as they take a 10 XRP bot, you don't get 300% anymore, you get 400%. So by you expanding your network, by helping them understand, you make 400%. If you don't want to show this to anybody, you make 300%. Now, I don't know about you. I don't like leaving money on the table. I don't like leaving money on the table. So I work for 400%. So what you're going to do is you're going to get in touch with the person who invited you to the call. You're going to get the link and you're going to get signed up. However, the next part is for a very, very selected few of you. You who I'm going to speak to now are probably very hungry. Why? Shane, you don't understand. I need to retire quicker. Shane, you don't understand. I just looked at my retirement. They're giving me only 1/3. I can't make it on my salary right now. How the hell am I going to make it when I retire? They're not giving me my lump sum anymore, Shane. I'm stressing. How do I do this, Shane? Now I'm talking to you, people who are hungry, not you in the comfort zone who, when you go from work, you put your legs on the coffee table, cross your legs, get your can of beer, your cup of tea, and watch Netflix. I'm not interested in you. You will get the bot and you will trade passively and you're happy. You're the type of person who say, oh, I don't like to go to Zoom call. I don't like to speak to anybody. This part is not for you. Am I making sense? So there's two types of people I'm looking at here. The first is the passive person who says, Shane, I like the idea to collect XRP by just activating a bot on the Tuesday. That I can do, but for me to be on the Zoom call is not for me. So this is the time You either put your blindfold on or you put your earplugs. But it'll be good for you to listen because sometimes this may awaken something in you. Maybe some of you always wanted to be a entrepreneur. This is your moment. So the company in Web 2, they use advertising on YouTube. They use advertising on media, social media. Banks advertise. You'll see billboards, all of that, right? So there's a corporate body that pays for advertising. But in the Web3 world, nobody ever advertised for Bitcoin. It was a few people sitting together and understanding the blockchain and believed in it and pushed through governments, pushed through regulation and made it happen. It was done word of mouth. So Web3, because there's no corporate and owners, it is done word of mouth. Now, this is a Web3 banking system. Why I say that is because when you walk into the bank, they give you 5% for the year, and they give you what? A MasterCard. Guess what? Here, we're going to give you up to 20% a month. And ladies and gentlemen, you cash your millions out using a MasterCard. That's the reason why I was in Thailand when they launched the card. So what happens? How does this work? Very, very simple. You need to make a list of 10 people. Remember, this is a business. You make a list of 10 people. And you're just going to invite them to the call. I'll teach you guys the invite. So how does it work? I showed my wife. Every time my wife took a bot, I make 8%. Whether it was 20 XRP, she took, or 500 XRP, I make 8%. And you can have multiple bots. Every month you can buy a bot. Every 2 weeks you can buy a bot. For your business owners here, sometimes you'll have that $300 to say, instead of me going to Sabaya or Suncoast, let me take a bot and make up to 20%. And I know the price is going up and I know it's a commodity, right? So why put your money there when you can put your money here? So you can take multiple bots. And every time your friend or family take a bot, you make 8%, 8%, 8% every time. So when my wife signed on my daughter, my wife made 8%, 8%, 8%. I didn't sign my daughter up because I only have one daughter. So I made 2% from my daughter. Why? Because that wasn't my direct, that was my wife's direct. So I got paid 2%. So my wife was my first level, my daughter was the second level. Then I found out, ladies and gentlemen, we get paid 20 levels deep. Just like a bank. See, first is 8%, level 2 is 2%, 3 to 6 is 1%, 7 to 20 is 0.5%. So just like a bank that has the federal bank, then you've got the main head office, then you got all the branches, then you got all the satellite branches, then you got the ATMs. It's the exact same thing from level 1 right up to level 20. Everybody understands that. Then you can apply for your card. This card is no KYC, or I would say no KYC, soft launch because of YouTube. There's a soft KYC that you would have to use for this card. You can use this card in the ATM, tap, swipe, do whatever you need to do. It's got your 3 numbers in the back here. It's your CCV number. It's got your expiry date. It's got your account number. So you could pay for Netflix. You could pay for your groceries. You could go buy stuff from Woolworths, Checkers, everything done on this card. Who likes the idea of that? And draw cash from the ATM. So if you join forces with me and we grow this, Ambassador 1, Ambassador 2, it took me about 80 days to come to Ruby, which I would draw about 4,000. It is about 40,000 XRP. 10% of 40,000 is 4,000 XRP. Then it goes back to zero again. As the team builds or shared with the friends and family, I reached Sapphire 3 weeks ago. I claimed 11% of another 8,000 XRP. And today, I'm already on Ruby. So let me show you how this works in real time. I barely do this, but I'm going to go into my back office now and show you. What I'm going to do is, before I go there, I'm going to stop the screen share